हे सृश्टीन तुमकां सगळ्यांक माये मोगाचो येवकार आनी नमस्कार. ही सृश्टीन आयज हे कार्यावळीक आमच्या सांगाताक आसा एक असलो व्यक्ती, एक असलो मनीस ज्या मनशान गोंयची परंपरा जावं ती मागीर गोंयचे नाच, गोंयची फेस्तां, गोंयची जेवणां आनी जें कितलें पारंपारीक गोंयान आसा तें सांबाळपा खातीर ताचें योगदान खूब म्हणल्यार खुबूच. आख्खें गोंयभर भोंवून वेगवेगळ्या लोकांक मेळोवन आपल्या हांगाची काम बारावन ताणें आमची गोंयची परंपरा सांबाळून दवरल्या आनी आजून पासून हें काम तो फुडें व्हरत आसा. तर तो इश्टिश्टिनीलो दुसरो आनी कोणूच न्हय. माळयूस फेस्ताकार म्हटल्यार ताका गोंयभर लोक वळखतात आनी आयज ताचे लागच्यान आमी उलोवन कसो ताका एक गोंयचे परंपरेचो मोग लागलो, ताणें कितलीं फेस्तां केलीं आनी हे फुडें तो कितें करूंक सोदता तो आमी ताचे लागच्यान जाणा जावन घेवया. माळयूस बाब, हेरल्ड टीव्हीच्या नांवान तुका माये मोगाचो येवकार आनी नमस्कार.
देव बरें करूं सगळ्यांक and thank you very much for inviting us and coming to our village of Samathias, Tiwar Island.
Yes. And we also take this opportunity to congratulate you. तुवें न्हूच फेस्तां केलीं, न्हूच गोंयची परंपरा सांबाळली, पूण केन्ना तरी फुडले पिळगेक तुवें जें कितें करून दवरलां, वॉट एवर वर्क यू हॅव डन, ताचे उगडास, ताच्यो मेमरीज सांबाळपा खातीर तुवें हो एक धाकटोसो म्युजियम हांगासर आयज तुजे मांयच्या हातांतल्यान उक्तो केला. हेंवूय एक दायज गोंयकारांक हे फुडें पळोवंक मेळटलें.
हें एक्चुली व्हडलें काम मामीन आयज केलां तें. तुमी आयले म्हणून आमकां एकदम चड खुशालकाय दिसता, कित्याक हें काम फुडाराक दिसता पडोवंकूच जाय. ही हांवें केलां व्हडवीक ही व्हडली, पूण हें गोंयचें गिरेस्तकाय आख्ख्या संवसाराक जायते लोक म्हाका मेळोंक येता आनी उलयताले, पूण मागीर हांवें चिंतलें बे उलोवन कोलो फायदो कितें, पूण दाखोवंक जाय. आनी हें आतां 22 वर्साचें काम आनी हें गोंयच्या भुरग्यांनी जाणट्यांनी हें केल्लें काम, हें बेश्ट्यांनी हांवें घेवंक ना. सो हें सगलें आतां आनी आतां पळय एक व्हडलें आहा घुमट, इज द लार्जस्ट घुमट इन द वर्ल्ड. So these are quite historic. Mandai, largest Mandai in the world. So some very historic and unique things are here, which celebrates Goa.
Okay, Marius, but tell us something about your childhood. तूं भुरगेपणांतल्यान तुजें शिकप खंय जालें, तूं आतां हे दिवार, हे सोबीत सुंदर दिवार, सुया गांव तुजो गांव, जाल्यार भुरगेपणांतल्यान what inspired you to go for this?
So I was born in Kenya, in Africa. My grandfather had gone to Kenya in the 1890s. So over 100 वर्सां आमी आफ्रिका गेल्ले आमचे शापाय शामाय. मामीन आमकां गोंय हाडली कोंकणी शिकपाक. सो आमकां तें सामकें देवाचें हें, मामीन गोंयाक कोंकणी, आमचो लोक भायर वेतात.
Your mom brought you all to Goa all the way from
Kenya
to just to learn
कोंकणी म्हणजे चिंत कितें तें. आनी आमकां व्हडल्या व्हडल्या स्कॉलान घालूंक ना मुद्दम करून, कित्याक ते सगळे इंग्लीश स्कॉलां, दिवाडीच्या स्कॉलान घालून आमी भास रोखडीच शिकली कोंकणी. हांवच न्ही, आमची सगळीं भाव भयणां. आनी मागीर हांवें तेंच म्हज्या भुरग्यांक केलें, एश्री आनी जेमा. तांकांय व्हडल्या स्कॉलान घालूंक ना, दिवाडीच्या स्कॉलान, आवर लेडी ऑफ दिवार हाय स्कूल, because that's where they can interact with the fishermen, the vegetable sellers, and learn pure Konkani. So that's one of the greatest gifts our mom gave us, to learn Konkani. So today, आख्ख्या संवसाराक भोंवता आमी, पूण आमी कोंकणी आमची मायभास सगळ्याकूच वता. So then we came to Goa, and when we were young in the 70s, every month गोंया कितें पूण आसतालेंच. पयर काजू सिजन, जॅकफ्रूट सिजन, हें सिजन, तें सिजन, सगलें आमचें तकलेन आहा.
गोंया 12 म्हयन्यांक 13 फेस्तां.
हय, तें सगलें. त्या भायर देवाचीय फेस्तां आहा तातूंत आनी सगलेंच. So there is no better place actually in the world, because we've lived in 3 continents. oholo culture आख्खे संवसाराक ना, ohलें जेवणूय ना आनी ohलें म्युजिकूय ना. सगळे भायले गाणी सगळे सेम. We have been blessed in Goa. So 20 years later मागीर हांवें इंग्लंडाक गेले, थंयसर काम केलें थोडें. हांवें age of 40, when I was 20 years old, I said to myself, I will return back to Goa. I don't care if I've got money or no money. And on the day of my birthday, 40th, I left Europe. and I came to Goa here to start a new chapter of my life. And when I came here, I always wanted to do some of my social responsibility because Goa has given us amazing stuff when we are abroad. So Goa आयले आमी पोत्तून आणि गोंया येतो सगळ्यांनी म्हाका सांगले अरे तू पिसो जाला होले लोक येवन जाय ते गेले. Everybody has come, everybody is gone. And the main thing they said is तू आतां ते आमकां सांगता होले होबरो हें अशें ना तें केन्ना जावपाचेंच ना. And one of the things I had was alcohol. See, we Goans are not drunkards. We do not do all that. We know when to drink socially. Yeah. Puna, one of the things is I wanted Bailio, Burgi, Festak. Ekta, and all religions. So I came up with some rules, and one of the rules, main rule was no alcohol. And everybody says this is going to fail because without alcohol it's not going to work. But I had other things in my mind. I very early on recognized that in Goa everything's dominated by men. You go in the church, it's the men. Temples, men. Festivals, men. Where are the women? Where are the children? Where are the different neighbor community? So I had all this picture in my mind, and Poile festu kela ami patoenche festmun sukur gawat. And I was lucky to meet a father who was completely into culture, Father Santana Carvalho. He was from Salsett, and he liked the ideas that I had, that ami goicho matiecho avaz sarak paung jay. I still always tell him, and we will use the festa. So patoenche fest comes kela ami. And लोकांनी सोरोना कोण येतलो आजर तो हे नी हे फेस्ट हे दुसरे भाषेचे फेस्ट आमी टेस्ट करूया no chief guests, no sponsors, no alcohol, no prizes, but full of surprises. Yeah. So this was something shocking for people in Goa. Sponsor na म्हणजे पैसे ना म्हणजे chief guest ना या निकाले फेस्ट तू. But the day we started that fest, the surprises was we gave people freshly made patoyos. People came. And this type of thing I don't think happened in Goa, where people were given free food, done by people, ate by people, all free. Means people contributed, no money was involved. So that was the start of, after that, 53 festivals. We ended up doing Patoenche Fest, Kazunche Fest, Ambiache Fest.
Fest was the first festival
organized on the main, for the main of Goa, which didn't look at culture, creed, religion, it was a secular festival. And that attracted all sorts of communities. And since then it's always been a roller coaster ride, because from there we went in Carmona to Arambol to Saligaon to
So after that, आणि कितें गोंयची परंपरा जी दाखोवंक मेवता ती कितें जाता ताचेर तूं नजर घालीत लक्ष घालीत तूं तें मुखार लोकांक दाखोवंक गेलो.
So not only that, my idea of the festa is we have to break barriers. ते बेश्टे फेस्ता करून नाचून कांयच फायदो ना. So from very early on I had this idea that I have to somehow bring the Gumot on the mainstream. The Gumot. So 2015 आमी धाकटें घुमटाचें फेस्त म्हूण केलें शिरीदा. And that was the festival that really brought the Gumot to the notice. But it was at that stage illegal. 1972 the government of India had banned the use of the monitor lizard, skin. And the job was, if you are going to bring that Gumot into the mainstream, that skin cannot be seen. So from there we started lobbying. आता म्हणलें आमी ते जानवराक मारून आमच्याकडे ते एन्जॉय करूंक जावचें ना फुडाराक. आमी सिंथेटीक स्किन घालचेच पडटलें. And by coincidence, my son Ashley Fernandez, by then was following me in all these small events, decided to do a degree in a college in London in sound engineering. And म्हाका एक दिसाचो phone आयलो from London, Dad, my final thesis, I want to do it on the Gumot. I said, oh wow. He says, I want to find an alternative to the monitor lizard skin. He does the degree, he finds the alternative. And that proposal and with others were given to the government of Goa. In 2019, amazingly, the government of Goa made the Gumot the state musical instrument of Goa, which is a huge thing, because I don't think many states in India and in the world have a musical instrument. So the Gumot is perhaps one of the oldest instruments in the world, because Matiachani, Magir Aile, wood, Magir must have been metal and then plastic. Perhaps one of the oldest instruments in the world comes from the soil of Goa. And now being legal, huge opportunities. It has to go travel the whole world. For that we need music, Gumot teachers. It has to go in clubs, schools, colleges, temple, churches, and we can start a huge industry. Because if you're Brazilian, you don't know what a Gumot is. If you're Nigerian, you don't know what a Gumot is. If you're Sri Lankan, you don't know. Even Punjabi, Gujaratis don't know. You have to be a Goan to know what a Gumot is. Yeah, and every house, I personally, if you go to my house today in Samathias, you will see Gumots everywhere. In the front, if we've taken the combo down and we put the Gumot on top. That gives you the real identity of Goa. If you are Goan, you have to have a Gumot hanging in your house. That tells you you're Goan.
Okay. So as far as promoting this Gumot, how far have you reached? तुझे awareness on the Gumot. आपके गोइंबुर कितने पोइस पासून पावले?
No, so the Gumot now is accepted because it's a state instrument, and every festival I try and do something with the Gumot. So I did a mango festival in Kolle recently. Gumot. And first time we handed over the Gumot to the girl child. So there were about 30 girls sitting there, and Shakuntala Bane, who's a well-known Konkani singer and on radio, composed a song called Gum Gum Gum. And she sang that song there, quite a historic moment, with 20-30 girls playing the Gumot. So the Gumot has gone to the girl child. And if it falls in the hands of the women, you rest assured the Gumot will be saved. Because with men, there's an issue with men in Goa at the moment. We have to be forced, but the women comes out in force, and they will hand it over to their children, and the Gumot will be saved for generations.
Okay, now your last festival was the Purmendaja Fest at Kakulo Mall in Bengal.
Yeah.
आता हे Purmendaja Fest साले उपरांत दूसरे तुम कितने करोगे? What is your next?
So all our festivals at the Fodarak Pasun is we have to think that accessibility. When I say accessibility means every Goan has to be able to come to the fest. And other thing is, when we say accessibility, we talk about people who's differently able, people in wheelchairs, people who can see, all. If you don't have that, festivals, it's not inclusive. So in future now, all my festivals, the venues will have to be accessible. They have to have ramps for the blind people, to walk. So already many festivals are in place, and one of the next festivals is going to be San João coming up. I'm working on it, but not anymore of jumping in the wells. Those days have passed, because the future there's going to be war for water. There's no water to drink. So about water harvesting, we have to talk in future. We have to have seminars in the wells. We have to start reopening our wells. And the mosquito hapak. So that type of awareness will be at San João, and it will be with a different able community of Goa, because they don't seem to be involved in our festivals in Goa. So that festival is coming up, and after that, Ponsache Fest, Yopacha, because the season of Ponus is nearby. And I just said that my mom is 90 years old, so Aweche Fest, Yopacha, for all the mothers of Goa, which will be held in Samathias. So there are many. There are talks that in Benauli I'm in at the moment to do a Nistekanache Fest, which is very close to Goans, and Goenchim Lharam Fest to celebrate the potter of Goa. So all these festivals are in place. It's going to come.
So right now you said Aweche Fest.
Yes.
So what basically you want to showcase in this?
Yeah, so Goa without the Awe, I don't know about other parts of the world, without the mother, without the girl child, nothing moves. And that's when I found out during the pandemic. Though we were in the pandemic, everything was locked. Women struggled to get food for their children on the table. They were the one ringing around, calling people, Nistan. So I realized that the future belongs to the women in India, especially in Goa. And Aweche Fest, that day, I'm hoping that mothers from all over Goa will come, and we will talk to them about our history. The older they are, the more history. And what we want to capture from them is our heritage food. Amuleta bibik, amuleta dos baji. They know the recipes. We are just on the net today. So with them we want to speak about kotkote, old foods of Goa. And the bread, suriche pao. All these things have to be saved, and we are only going to get this knowledge at the Aweche Fest, because the more Awes we have of all communities, Hindus, Catholic, Muslim, the more we will be able to document. And I will be getting one of the colleges to document that fest, so we can actually capture the recipes of Goa over the last 100 years. So that is basically the Aweche Fest.
What about having a Natalanche fest?
Yeah. So already 2-3 festa is in my mind. One of them is called Kazaranche Fest. Kazaranche Fest. Because at the moment I've been to Kazars around Goa and they're all the same. They have got nothing innovative and nothing that actually people know how the weddings were done. 60, 70, 80, 90. We had fantastic weddings held in front of the houses with martos and all that.
Right.
So te maka ek fest karunga Kazarache. Yeah, we will try and do. And then the Natalache Fest is such a secular festival in Goa, because I know how they do in London. Completely commercial. Everything, they do not know Jesus Christ is born. They know Santa Claus is coming. But in Goa, fantastic. You go to every corner and they have cribs, stars. So that type of thing as well, which we showcase our sweets. That festival, my God, Kuswar Muntade.
Takas lagon to prosh.
Just imagine, we have to not only that festival is in my head to create a small space and all that food to be made live, not to be brought on the day. So all those things they will be done on the table and everything to be documented, and that is our Natalanche Fest. So there I've already found people for that. People have already volunteered. So basically now we have to wait for venues and the right time. But all this is in the head because we are placed after 22 years to open many doors in Goa, and we can at the moment.
Marius Bab, खूप बरें दिसलें तुजे लागीं उलोवन. तुज्या मनांतलें तुवें जायतें सांगलें. इतलो काळ तुजो जुलमूय केल्या देसान जालो आनी उपरांत तुज्या आवयन तुका स्पेशली कोंकणी भास शिकपाक तुमकां गोंयांत हाडलें. And I think that must be the turning point in your life.
Yeah. Not only that, we followed that when I came to Goa. I have 2 children, Ashley Fernandez and Gemma. Tankai anga alde ami tankai Konkani shikoili. And ती dogai with your friends all ended up in Konkani theatre. And today I'm very happy to tell you that Gemma, Konkani theatre is 126 years old, 27 years old. And we need to find out, but I have a feeling she's probably the only theatrist to have a degree in theatre. Yeah, in London. She went back to London and done a degree. And one of the very few people to have won all the awards in Konkani Theatre, you know, Kala Academy and Delgado here. She has won all the single awards in Konkani Theatre. So she's done well for somebody who's born in London. So there's nothing impossible for us Goans if we really teach our children and love Goa. So we actually did that. We came from Europe, our children both. Ashley had a band for theatre, Vazitalo, Ami Khel Theatre Kele, Zomnisa Khel Kele, Sogles Kele Goa. So we have done it. So we now want to inspire the next generation of Goans. And another thing I would say, Konkani is not going to die. People have worries that Konkani is going to die. It's not going to die. Because if you go back to London, you go to Wembley, you go to Southall, you go to Hounslow, Konkani, Bas, these are Gasta. And these are Kaim or Pachana. They are Konkani language will be saved. We are the problem here. We have to save our language here, not worry. The Konkani is going to travel around the world. Ami amchi basa manchi poteli goya.
तरी सृष्टीलो ओ जावन आसलो आमचो मारियूस फेस्ताकार ताच्या लागच्यान उलोवन जें ताणें जिवितान गोंयची परंपरा सांबाळपाक कसलो वावर केला ताचे वयर ताणें आमकां आयज म्हायती दिली. आनी तुमी हांगासर ह्या आमच्या हेचो बॅकड्रॉप पळयतात, थोड्योश्यो वस्तू ह्या बॅकड्रॉपान हे ताच्या म्युजियमांतल्यो तुमकां दिसतात. पूण आतां आमी ताच्या म्युजियमांतल्यान एक भोंवडी करुया आनी जें कितें ताणी फेस्टिवलां केल्यात, जी कितें गोंयची परंपरा ताणी सांबाळून दवरल्या तेचेर एक आमी नदर घालया.
My name is Marius Fernandez and I'm with my mom Antonetta Fernandez. She's only 90 years young. We are in Samatias, in our ancestral home in Amboe Wado. Today people know me as Festival Man of Goa, but that does not tell the whole story. I've returned from London to Goa 20 years ago, and in that 20 years we've created over 55 people's festivals, and none of this would have been possible without my mother. My mother has inspired me. She has been like a library. If you have the internet today, she was my internet for last 20 years. Nothing happened without her consulting her. So mom, आमी तू काजार जाल्ली मगे साला तू म्हण काजार जाल्ली आनी तू आफ्रिका गेल्ली केन्या
वय
या सो केन्या कितलीं वर्सां आहली तूं अबाउट 8-9 वर्सां आहली
वय
मागीर तुवें गोंया आमकां हाडली कोंकणी शिकपाक
वय
2-3 वर्सां कोंकणी शिकली आनी मागीर आमी इंग्लंडाक गेले
वय
या सो इंग्लंडाक हिसर रावताली तूं
लेस्टर
लेस्टर सिटी
लेस्टर
या
लेस्टरशायर
हय सो थिसर तुवें म्युजीक कोंकणी शिकयताली तूं न्ही
वय
या,
कोंकणी भुरग्यांक शिकयता
हय आनी मागीर तुवें तियात्र बी हाडलेलो एकलो आसा
वय आल्फ्रेड रोज
Alfred Rose, Rita Rose.
रिचा रोज
When the actual poster, this is the actual poster of Alfred Rose, and it says on here, Alfred Rose and his troupe, 1986, 9th of March. So, ma'am, त्याचा तो तियात्र हाडलो लोगडासा कोण हाडलो Alfred Rose,
Rita Rose.
Rita Rose,
Tita
Tita
Prieto
Prieto, C. Alvarez,
Alvarez
Antoinette, जायते लोक हाडले आनी तो तियात्र 3 शो हाडले आनी ती एवरी शो 1,000 लोक आयिल्लो या एंड दॅट वॉज द फर्स्ट टायम a Konkani theatre performance came to Europe. It opened the doors for Konkani theatre in Europe. So it was quite an important moment. So ma'am, tu burgi asana kantara bi muni ni theatre ni bi salo de tumun.
चालू जाता
Oy ani anga amka burgi asana ek kantar shikole to hai. Yeah, Louisine, Maja Louisine. It was a story about from Merches to Divade. So ek verse म्हणून दाखवता आमकां.
Louisinho, moja Louisinho, moja moga. Merche kala furatan, divade veta, rodu naka. Merche kala furatan, divade veta, rodu naka.
Okay. So tu English ni kantara janu, Swahili ni janu, Konkani ni janu. So all this have inspired us over the years, and your children all speak Konkani in England. Yeah, we were one of the few families that spoke Konkani and sang in Konkani. Yeah, all the songs. So, ma'am, you know we do many festivals in Goa. Patoyanche Fest, Kazunche
Yeah,
Fest,
yeah,
Saite
yeah.
Festa Kotani Ami.
Right.
And every festival you have inspired us. You don't know all this, but without asking you, we never did any of this festival. So thank you very much. Because of you, we did this festival, and this festival has inspired Goans not only here, all across the world. So thank you, ma'am. And we will wait to celebrate your birthday on the 24th of September. Aweche Fest, Amjagara Fulan Zapache.